Hi, welcome. We're chatting about types and examples of organizational control. So, within the strategic and operational levels of control that we talked about in the last video, there are several types of control. So, the first two types can be mapped across two dimensions, either the level of proactivity or whether it's a behavioral or an outcome control. So proactivity is the first one, and then behavioral versus outcome is the second one. So let's start with proactivity. Proactivity is defined as monitoring of problems in a way that provides their timely prevention rather than doing it after the fact when it's happened and it's just a reaction. When we talk about this in management, we also talk about this as feed forward controls, which you see in the top left box, feed forward controls. These controls are active monitoring of problems in a way that provides a very timely prevention and response rather than after the fact, right? So it addresses what can be done ahead of time. So this is future oriented. So feed forward controls really tries to see the problems as they are before they actually show up. So we're predicting, we're forecasting, we're guessing, we're being proactive. For instance, feed forward controls can include things such as preventative maintenance on machinery and equipment, or due diligence on investments, or taking care of your body and going to the gym. That would be a feed forward control for your physical health. The second one down is a concurrent control. This is present time. So concurrent controls are monitoring and adjusting ongoing activities in the moment. So this would be repairing the ship while it's actually sailing. These are not proactive controls, but they can prevent existing problems from becoming even worse. And because of this, concurrent controls are really thought of as being real time controls in real time in the moment. Lastly, on the control proactivity column, we have feedback controls. These are looking at the past. These are processes that involve gathering information about something that has already been completed, evaluating that information, and then taking steps to improve similar activities in the future. This, of course, is the least proactive of the controls that we have, and it's merely a reaction to what has already happened. Feedback controls let our leaders use information that has happened from our past performances to better plan for future performances, and we call this lesson learned activity in organizations. Alrighty, let's jump to the middle column, which is the behavioral control. So behavioral controls are direct evaluation of managerial and employee decision making and actions. Not the outcome, not the result of those decisions. That would sit in the outcome control column. So behavioral controls are really the actions and the decisions we make. These type of controls are typically more appropriate when the actions of employees within the organizations and leaders can be clearly tied to the performance of the organization. For instance, behavior control to wear a mask globally to stop the spread of COVID-19 was widely communicated but not always followed in 2020 and 2021 when we were dealing with the worst of the pandemic. Finally, in the last column, we have outcome controls. Outcome controls. These are processes that are generally preferable when there's about just one or two performance measures that are good assessments of the business health. So these are tangible performance metrics. For instance, return on investment or return on assets. We can also talk about control as a feedback loop, right? So why do you think it's helpful for leaders to think of control as part of that feedback loop in the POLC process, planning, organizing, leading, controlling process? Well, Collectively, we can say that these different types of control act as a feedback mechanism so the organization and its leaders can adjust the strategy, and also maybe it's reflected by changes in the planning, organizing, and leading components. So as we get feedback about how we're doing, we might want to change our plan. We might want to change how we organize our resources, how we lead our workforce, and then the measures that we are using in the controlling piece, the fourth one. For example, if you are a small business owner and you're writing your business plan for a completely new business that you are going to start, you would most likely start with number one, the planning component, and then you will work your way through all the way to the controlling component by spelling out how you're going to assess whether or not this new small business is on track. If we are already in an established organization that already exists, we already have a plan. The plan is already in place. With the plan in place, managers can now, or have to rather, face the challenge of understanding the organization, understanding the plan, understand how we organize, how we lead, and how we control, and to check for whether or not those pieces are the right ones for our strategy. So understanding the controls that we have in place and whether or not those are the ones that should be there. That is why we care about control as a feedback loop in the POLC. That's it for now. I'll see you at the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.